how do you go through death and not have those situations of families falling apart?
Well, I mean, it is awfully hard to prevent because people are gonna act the way that they want to act, but
Mhm.
there is, an important thing that a lot of people should do, to make sure or try to prevent that from happening.
Welcome back. It's your girls here for another episode of your favorite podcast out these days.
Yes, it is. Hey, 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 guys.
I'm so excited to be back for another episode. It always feels good to just have these moments with you and chat and just speak some good words to our listeners and our viewers because we are also on YouTube for those of you who only listen to us. It's just I don't know, it's always like a good piece of my day and I feel like I've done a good deed every time we have an episode.
Aw, well, good.
You know, had to start off a
Yeah.
little positive, upbeat energy.
It definitely is, and it's needed because you know me, I'm tired per usual, so it's just here trying to stay awake.
Yes, no, it's all good. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I went out to dinner today. And it was like a really good dinner. It was this
Good.
Peruvian Bolivian spot, and me, I pick seafood, so I just
Mhm.
had a nice big something. It's called
A big
jalea.
something, oh.
Yeah, yeah, something. It's called jalea and it has like shrimp and like corn and but it's like all fried stuff, clams, mussels. Like it looks like they literally fried the clam and mussel in the shell, like the shell's open, but like the whole thing is fried. It's really interesting.
Hmm,
And it has like onions and tomatoes. I don't know, it's like an interesting dish. I've seen it before
yeah.
at other like Peruvian restaurants, but I never tried it. But it was really good. And, your girl went all out and had dessert. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I had a little tiramisu and they gave me a little espresso and I haven't had espresso since before I was pregnant. So, I was really excited about it. So, that's probably why I'm really upbeat right now.
Oh, boy. That would make sense.
There's a little reason to it because of
Oh,
that espresso. And it was, just a shot of espresso, nothing crazy.
yeah.
But it was like just what I needed, to finish my dinner. It was just, I don't know. I was
Uh-huh.
excited and probably a little tipsy too because we had this delicious pink Peruvian sangria too, which was a banging.
Gosh.
So, I had a good time, and I
Well,
was
good.
full and happy.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself because you just look like you are
Yes.
loving life right now. Your belly is full. You're high on fucking espresso.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that espresso was girl, listen, because I used to always get a caramel macchiato from Starbucks.
Yeah.
And it has the espresso in it. So when I found out I was pregnant, obviously I cut back on that because I'm just like, oh, let me be cautious and just take care of myself and the baby type of thing.
Yeah.
So I literally haven't had it since. So it's
Wow.
it's been a while, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I see why, or how people become addicted to caffeine and stuff like that. So, but I'm good though. I had my little taste, and that's gonna hold me over for a while. But
Well,
yeah,
good. Hopefully you'll
I
be able
just
to
had
get
to.
some sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Like,
Won't be the last time when you all had Starbucks and you none of you could sleep.
oh, child, that's because the girl messed up the drink. I don't know what she did to our drinks, but that matcha, which is usually like a light green, that junk was dark green. Like she did way too much. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll be good. I feel okay, so I don't feel
Good.
like with that matcha drink, we'll be good. We'll be good.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
But yeah, good weekend. It's been a good week. It's been a good week. How was your week?
It's been fine. Just trying to
Yeah.
think 'cause you're saying week and not just weekend. So,
Yeah. The entire
I don't
week. Think
know.
back.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of sleep and a lot of work.
Life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I did go out to Jersey this weekend. I went to this thing called Top Golf, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
I went to one in Virginia before, so I already had like an idea of like what it was. And they have one
Mm-hmm.
in Jersey, so I went there for a friend's birthday just for the night and came back and just got back to the normal life.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was cool. It was nice, to, like have like a quick little getaway. So
Mm. Right.
not too bad.
Especially like after, you just recently did all your moving and stuff like that. And the last time you had a trip was just before, so it's
Yeah.
nice to kinda take a little breather from the new schedule.
Yeah, it is, but also not because now it's like now that I'm all the way up here in Connecticut, I'm like, the last thing I wanna do is go to Jersey. That's why I got a hotel because 'cause I'm like, it was just a little too far, and it's a
Mm.
good thing that I didn't tell him, like, how far it was because if I did, we wouldn't have gone. So,
Oh my gosh.
it was just shy of, like, 2 hours. So,
Ooh, yeah, that's a
it was
little bit of a
definitely
trip.
far. Yeah, just to hang
Mhm.
out for, like, 2 hours.
That's alright. It's the experience that matters, right?
Yeah. No, that's true. It turned out to be a good time, so it wasn't
Good.
bad.
Oh, I'm glad. Would you
Yeah.
say that was, like, your high point for the week?
Yep, because that's pretty much all I can remember. And so but I wouldn't have done anything else, literally just, like, work and
Yeah,
and stuff, so, yes,
that's
it was
alright.
the highlight of my week for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a good time. I'm glad you're able to get out, and it's because it's hard in wintertime to get out and do stuff, I feel like. It's just so far from being motivated to want to even come out the house. It's gloomy and gray. I just said that today on our
Mm.
drive. Like we drove an hour to go just to go eat dinner. And it literally like all the trees are dead. It looks gloomy. The sky is gray. I don't know what the sun look like. Haven't seen that shit
Yeah,
in weeks. You know,
right.
it's like, oh yeah, it feels great to be up here. We need to fucking move to Florida ASAP. Like,
Yeah, I don't
this
blame
is
you. It was a little
ridiculous.
interesting doing Topgolf, which is like a driving range, so yes, we were outside for this
Oof.
event.
Yeah.
So why people wanna do that in the wintertime, I don't know, but you know what? Whatever.
I guess it's that crisp, cool air, we'll just say.
I guess. I mean, they had, like, heaters, but it was still cold, so
Yeah, I'm all set. I'm like, "Love y'all, not today." We need a rain check for spring.
right? Yeah, definitely.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad your week has been good. Your weekend sounded like it was awesome. I figure I'll just jump into the episode so they don't have to hear us just blabber about our week all episode
Um,
long.
well, yes, but before we do that, I do want you to, let the people know why are you making that face?
It's you.
Well, because I'm very intrigued by this now, and because I completely noticed a difference, so I'm curious if other people hear a difference too, but Amanda got something new to record with this episode, and I think
I
it's worth
can't stand
mentioning
you.
because I can truly hear a difference, and I'm very intrigued. I'm
Oh,
thinking I
you
might have
can?
to upgrade. Yeah, definitely.
See, but I asked you that when I sent you the,
We had just started, like, talking, I had to, like, hear you actually, like,
oh.
talk so I can hear a difference, so
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope y'all enjoy it because it's gonna sound probably a little crazy and slightly conceited, but I started recording with this thing by myself and I like couldn't stop myself. I was just talking and recording random things and till the
okay.
baby started crying and she ruined my flow. I was going. I was like I was about to just record mad random things, but
Mm.
this new mic is like pretty dope. So it's a great investment. I don't know.
So far, it seems like it, so I just
Thanks.
wanted to point that out because I definitely hear the difference, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad it's noticeable because that was a bit of my concern. This is about to be a return if if not.
No
So,
no need to do that.
oh, great. All right. Well, listen, y'all. I'm back on it. My internet is good. My mic is even better. What's up? I'm ready.
You are, so now with that, you can go ahead and carry on into the episode.
Okay, yeah. So, for today's episode, I'm thinking it's a little bit of a random topic, but we get personal with y'all and just talk about things in our lives and stuff going on. And I think this is something that is helpful for all of us, which is just in the category of mending relationships. And this comes in many different forms of like why you need to mend them. um, I myself have a relationship I need to mend, which is just with my father, my biological father, and it's always been a up and down type of relationship. And
Yeah.
as of this week, I guess I'll say I've decided to look at the picture bigger than myself
Mhm.
and take a step that I typically wouldn't make. Not necessarily to mend the relationship, but um to accept the relationship for what it is and not have other expectations.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, I guess that would be mending it in some form rather than having distance and no relationship at all.
Mhm.
So, but
Which
yeah,
is
but that
huge of you, by the way. Let me just
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go into obviously I'm not gonna go into detail on that
Yeah,
one, but for those who are close and know, like that's a lot for me to do.
yeah,
Like it's really me stepping out. Like I'm running out of my comfort zone by doing this. I'm not even just taking a step. I'm motherfucking running out that
yeah.
shit, okay?
You sure are. 'Cause when you told me that, I was like, "Wait a minute, did I read that correctly?"
Right, like, Amanda, are you drunk? It's like 3 in the afternoon. Why are you saying this? Like, what?
Mhm.
No, yeah, like it's I guess it just goes with my 2023 word of being fearless, right?
Look
I'm
at
just
that. You're kicking it off
doing
this year.
girl, like,
Mhm.
cause you know what? I wasn't with it last year. So this year I gotta just make up and be there and be present in my word. So I'm just being present in my word and completely unintentionally, opposite of your right? Opposite of yours. I'm very unintentional, especially with this situation.
Yeah,
It wasn't until just now that we speak about it where I'm like, oh shit, I'm being fearless about this, which,
definitely.
you know, yeah, so I'm just taking a step in my life and um not necessarily looking to fully mend a relationship, but like I said, just accept it for what it is and
Yeah,
just keeping boundaries around it to just not allow myself to be put in a place where it could be damaging to myself.
right.
So
That's
but
huge.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot and for us who are able to get ourselves to that point, kudos, right? Because it takes a lot
Yeah.
and you have to just do it on your own time. But it got me to thinking about, we typically speak about the loss of our parents and, grief, and there are relationships that need to be mended in those areas as well,
Mhm.
where one of the most common things is you lose like a matriarch or patriarch of the family, the head of the family, and relationships fall apart easily at that
Yeah.
point. You don't only adjust relationships, but you lose traditions. There are many things that can be lost, even just possessions. Um and it just made me think about how we should talk about that to the people,
Mhm.
because a lot of times you see families fall apart because of, say, the grandmother, the mother, the father, grandfather, whoever passes, and they have these possessions that causes siblings and whatever relatives from freaking no one even seen them in whatever amount of years, and all of a sudden they come about because so and so passed away, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's sad, but it really shouldn't go like that.
Shouldn't, but some people, man, death brings out the worst in some people.
It really does.
Mhm.
It really does. And it's like, how do you go through those situations, or how do you go through death and not have those situations of families falling apart?
Well, I mean, it is awfully hard to prevent because people are gonna act the way that they want to act, but
Mhm.
there is, an important thing that a lot of people should do, to make sure or try to prevent that from happening in as much as they possibly can, and, I believe we've kind of, like, touched on it before, but maybe not, like, into detail.
Mhm.
But is just making sure that you guys have a will set up and written up for yourselves because that will truly like distinguish a lot of drama that may happen because you are the one that's saying, who should get the rights to your finances, to your,
Mhm.
house, to these belongings or whatever. So
Mhm.
it's super, super important. Then you
Yeah.
can't have someone come in and being like, well, I'm going to take care of everything because I'm so and so.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
it can be a headache. It's a lot. Um, there's just many steps to the process if there's not a will in place,
Yeah.
like a will or like a trust, things of those nature, like you said, really help to kind of nip those things in the butt, because there's really no questioning as to who gets what. It's said, this goes to so and so, or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. But when you don't have that in place, you
Oh,
have to go through
chaos.
probate, which I went through probate,
Mm.
to just be able to get things in my mom's, and not because someone else was trying to like fight me for
Take
it.
them. Yeah.
It's because it wasn't automatically said like Amanda gets XYZ.
Yeah.
Um, Even things like paychecks, last pay stubs from an employer of the person who passed away.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, I can't say obviously, but I feel like that's one of the least common things you're gonna find in a will. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my last paycheck, give that to,
Right, right, right.
whoever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, assets, homes, vehicles, stock, things like that,
Mhm.
that's where you have beneficiaries for life insurance and for stocks and 401ks, because it automatically, without question, goes on to whoever you say gets it. So
Yeah.
probate is not fun. It wasn't terrible for me because, like I said, I wasn't, like really going against anyone. I was just
Mhm.
trying to gain things of my mom's, either from the state or just out of her name into my name. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you literally
Still a
have to.
process.
Yeah, you have to go to like the city hall or town hall and fill out paperwork, which we all love filling out paperwork,
Yeah.
right? It's fill out
Mhm.
paperwork, pay whatever little fee to have whatever processed. It's
Mhm.
really a piece of work that you would be able to save your relatives and loved ones a headache if you literally just have a will or a trust or just some
Yeah.
sort of documentation. Get that shit notarized so it's just, you know,
Well, and
set
make sure
straight.
the people that are in that will know where to find that will, or give them, give it to them,
Yes.
because that's another thing that gets a lot of people tripped up is they're like, I know, so and so had a will, and then they don't know where to find it. They don't know what lawyer they, wrote it up with and stuff, and then it's kind of
Yes.
like, yeah, there's a will, but like if you don't have that will and it needs to be the original, then you're also kind of screwed.
Absolutely. That's a very, very, very great point, because at that point it's just pointless. Like, oh yeah, they have
Yeah.
it somewhere. Yeah, oh, yep. Yeah. 10 years later, oh, after we went through all their stuff, we found the will, but all the shit's gone, so it doesn't matter.
Right, right. Because like, I have my mom's will,
Hmm.
but this is one that her and my dad drew up, like, when I was living in Virginia, like, years, years ago. So, like,
Hmm.
yes, I have that one, but, like, that does me no good because I know it's not the current one,
Right. Right.
So,
You have to keep that type of stuff updated.
yeah.
And the best time to get that started is once you have things of value.
Mhm.
If there are things that you have that you don't want like the state to take, or you don't want just any old whoever to take it, now's the time to get that process started. And just
Yeah.
because you write a will doesn't mean you're going to die soon.
Right. And
It's
that's
just
the biggest thing and the hardest thing too, it's the last thing people wanna think about, but when it's needed, it's, like, super important to have, so
oh yeah.
it's
No, it really really is. And like myself, I felt more like I felt like I am really needing to do that more so now that I'm a parent, because it's just
right.
like, okay, now I actually have someone to give stuff to. And before it was like, more of like my sister, but now it's like, oh, I have to divvy things up now because like I have a child now, and
Mhm.
I would love for her to have XYZ. Like I literally say my home is her home, because obviously I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
And that's, you want to be able to pass on assets. So
Yeah.
it's just it's a scary thing to think about. Like I
Yeah.
really need to write this stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy, and
mhm,
I do think, like you said, with having a child, I think that's, a huge time to when that's something you should think about, but at the same time, you're like, "I don't wanna think about this stuff." Like, I don't wanna go to
mm-mm.
a lawyer and have, my things written in a will to my daughter who's not even, a year old. You know what I
Right,
mean? So,
right. Yeah, no, it's a weird thought, but
yeah,
you
but
know,
it's so
I
important.
it's crucial. It's crucial for yourself. It's crucial for those relationships. You know, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it, for other people when someone passes and just how relationships change drastically
Yeah.
because of money or because of assets, like, which essentially is money, I guess. But like, it's sad because there's
Mhm.
so much more to life than those items. And I don't know. And it's just like like you can't even fix those situations right away because those people are also grieving
Right,
a loss.
right.
So your state of mind is just all over the place.
Definitely.
Like, I'm not thinking about like, oh, you know what? It's only a car. We'll be fine. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that was so and so's car and it meant so much to me. And now this person has it and now I have nothing left of them, right? Because that's what we're thinking. We're thinking
Mhm.
this is my piece of that person. And we're not thinking about like it was only a car. I have memories with that person, but the person
Yeah.
I'm beefing with is at least still here. No,
Right.
we're not
Yeah.
thinking about that.
No.
And it's just it's just so much more to life. I just wish we as a society were less, materialistic around things like that. And I'm not going to say everybody is because we're not.
No,
You
no.
you see a lot of it on social media, of course, but I know everybody's not like that. And I'm not saying this because I think everyone's like that, but material items do take precedent over a lot of things. And
Yeah. And some people in your family, you might not think about it, but they can turn, unfortunately really ugly in those situations.
yeah,
So,
yeah, you see those true colors come out,
mhm.
and it's probably even more because like we said, they're grieving on top of it. So
Right.
it's like
It's extra.
shit. Make you want to bring out the boxing gloves.
I'm sure in some situations that actually happens.
Yeah, without the gloves. They ain't waiting for the gloves.
True.
Sorry, it's not funny, but it is.
It's only funny if it's not happening to you.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. It's only funny if no one is actually hurt in the situation. Sorry. But you know us, we gotta laugh about something on here. We can't be all sad and serious all the time. Jeez Louise.
Uh,
It's not it's
mm,
not it's not our tone. It's
no,
not our
definitely
tone.
not. Giggles
Yeah.
is our vibe.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. But yeah, so yeah, no, I just felt like that was something that, you know, really relate that I feel like a lot of people could relate to. I did start off with like the mending in the relationship with my father, but then you just look at a bigger aspect of mending relationships, and
Yeah.
I've seen relationships change. I've seen the years go by of grieving and
Mhm.
relationships do a 180. And I'm not going to say they came back 100% to where they were,
Mhm.
but they came back to a healthier state.
That's
And
good.
I just want to share with people that it's possible. Like, even if there are falling outs, things can come back around, but that's only
Mhm.
if both parties are willing to get to that point.
Yeah, no, that's true because, there was a situation like that in my family when,
Mm,
one of my grandmothers had passed away, and, the 2 disputing parties never really kind of, like, reconciled after that, so
yeah.
it can get pretty ugly.
Yes. Yeah. So we don't need that, but give that person time. If you're in that type of situation right now, give the other person time and give yourself time to be
Mhm.
able to gather your thoughts and really, you know, look at the whole situation as a whole. Because there's probably still just hurt feelings there.
Yeah.
And when you lose someone, that alone is its own lengthy process.
Mhm.
So it's just a lot for some folks. But luckily, I can say that I haven't been there, so I feel very grateful.
Well, that's good. I mean, I
I don't
haven't been
think
there
I've
personally, but I've seen it happen.
right, 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 like
Well, not even
myself.
personally. I see it on a daily basis in my professional
No,
realm
that's true.
too. So it gets pretty interesting, but I'll tell you that having a will is super important. It's a good thing to have, as scary as it is to think about and talk about with people.
Mhm.
It definitely does help in the long run, and it means nothing if nobody knows where to find it. So
That's
make
right.
sure that you have that stuff like laid out or like put in like a
Yes.
drawer or
Have a plan of
whatever.
action.
Yeah.
A
So
plan of action. Communication is key, and communication will get everybody further in the long run.
yeah, definitely.
Mm. Yes, girl. I love when you put in little sprinklings like that of good gems. Yes.
Ah,
Oh, goodness. Well, that is just what I wanted to share for this week's episode because I feel like it's something that is kind of forgotten and
mhm.
I've been seeing it recently in social media. So
Oh,
I also wanted to kind of bring it out to another audience of folks out here.
gotcha. Well, I mean, I think it's a good thing, and even though, we may brush upon things in the past, it's a good thing to revisit because you never know at what point in time someone needs that information. So,
Absolutely.
good stuff.
Absolutely.
Good topic for this week.
Thank you, girl. That's what we do. Good topics
All the time.
all the time. Well, my girl, I'm going to wrap this episode up for our listeners and our viewers this week. Do you have any more beautiful gems to drop on them?
I don't think so. I think we gave them all the tools and tips they need.
Yes, quick recap.
Mm.
Write your will. Sooner than later, you won't regret it. Your
Mhm.
family will love you. Your friends will love you. We'll all love you. We'll love you regardless, but they'll love you even more because you made life easier.
Yeah.
But other than that, your girls are wrapping it up, and we
Hmm.
look forward to seeing y'all next week with a new episode.
We sure do. Bye, guys.
Until next time.